guys, my first guest on Fitness to Fitness. I've known her my entire life. She is an aqua fitness instructor in Topeka, Kansas. She's actually one of my instructors with Shockwave Aqua Fitness, and she is also our instructor of the year. This is Shelley Owens.
Hello.
I wanted Mom on because she's been doing this longer than I have. She's got a little bit of a story behind it, and I'm sure she also has some stories to share and some advice to offer. So we're gonna take it away and start asking her some questions. You didn't start your teaching journey early on.
No.
You actually started, what, were you 60, 61?
Probably 60.
Okay.
Yeah. I had hurt my back, and after I had recovered that, I think actually in how I did that, I think I sneezed and I threw my back out. Yeah.
Don't get old, kids.
Yeah, and I think some of that bad lower back is from my dad, so a lot of it's inherited. But anyway, yeah, it doesn't take much when you get older to do things to your body, unfortunately. And my doctor said the best thing for you would be to find a gym with a swimming pool and get into some arthritis classes. What are arthritis classes? So I found a gym, and they had an arthritis pool with like 92 degrees, and then right next to that, with about 6 feet separating it, there was a regular pool where they did aquatic classes. And I was over there in the arthritis pool doing nice slow movements, moving and stuff like that. And I kept looking over there at the other pool. Boy, they look like they're having fun. That looks fun. That looks like something I'd like to do. Mm-hmm. So next thing I know, I joined them. And it was kind of a beginner's class. The class was every day you went, it was the same exercises. The teacher had it memorized, and you did the same thing day day after day.
You just go down one list?
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep. You started with one thing, then you went on, and you ended up.
But was it still, even though it was the same exercises, was it what you would consider to be a good workout? Because you had you ever done aquatic classes?
No, I've never done aquatic classes. So it was a good class. You always got something out of it, and as usual, it depends on what you do with the class, not what everybody else is doing. It's what you do for your body. And once I became more confident in what I was doing for myself, getting stronger, feeling more confident, I joined the next hour's class, and that had a lot more cardio, a lot more activity, and I really enjoyed that.
So before you got into joining that gym and doing aqua fitness, do you have any sort of a fitness background?
Simply put, no. I was, growing up, I was the tomboy of the family, and we had our neighborhood gang. We'd go out and we'd ride our bicycles. We'd go somebody's backyard or a field if we had one, and we would play softball.
Tell them the softball story. Do you know what I'm talking about, where you knocked it out of where you're being kind of taunted?
Oh, that was actually at grade school, and the girls were having to play softball with the boys, and there was this one kid, come on, choke up on the bat, choke up on the bat. And I didn't even know what choke up on the bat meant, but it made me mad. And so they pitched the ball, and I took a swing at that ball, bang! And that guy sat there and went, just like that. And from there on in, whenever I came up to bat, they backed up.
That's awesome.
Backed up.
But outside of that, no actual like fitness background. You didn't do like.
No, I didn't study any type of fitness or anything. I was in the Army for a few years. We always had physical fitness with that. But really not until I got to a swimming pool and started taking the classes, and then they talked me into teaching.
How long were you just a regular class member before they asked you? And did you decide this, or did they ask you?
No, we needed instructors, and they said I would make a good instructor. So they handed me a sheet and said I was certified, and I started teaching the classes that I had been taking.
What did the sheet, wait a second. What did the certification say? Did you attend a training or anything?
They said that my hands-on experience in the water, taking the classes, was my certification.
Okay.
And a lot of it I studied and learned on my own. I taught HIIT, basic aquatic exercise. Toward the end of my stay there, they asked me to teach deep water. Nobody there knew anything about it. They said, just study up on it and then start the class. So that's what I did. I studied up on it, and I started a deep water aquatics class. They did not provide belts, so I had to learn everything using a noodle for everyone. We did everything with a noodle.
Side note, I took that class because that was towards the end there. And I took that class, and say what you want about deep water, but it kicks your butt.
It's a workout.
Yeah. So,
I also taught boot camp at 7 o'clock in the morning. That was when I was younger. Don't ask me to do that now, because no, 7 o'clock, no. That's too early for these old bones.
Well, so when you first started teaching, since it was basically, you've taught yourself in the water, I understand that, but did you understand at that time, like, proper ways to demonstrate the exercises, being on your toes versus being flat on your feet for certain ones? Were you teaching in the water? Were you on deck?
I was teaching in the water because that's the way they conducted their classes.
Yeah.
And I find out much later that there's, oh my goodness, there's so much difference between the classes that I taught then and the classes that I teach now. Of course, when I was teaching at the gym, it was always shoulders back, head
Proud
up,
chest.
shoulders back, yeah. And there was, feet on the floor, especially when you jog, flat foot. And when you sprint, you're up on your toes. There were basics there that you learned. But there's so much more since then, and it's a whole new world of aquatics.
Well, and you basically started teaching other classes such as Aqua HIIT, and you did a boot camp class, which is what later what I would come to teach, and what would actually be one of our most popular classes in Topeka. Now, you had to teach yourself for deep water. How did you learn HIIT and boot camp formats? Was that a teach yourself thing as well?
There were a couple of instructors from Wichita State University, I believe it was, and they were with the athletic department, and they came and they started the aqua boot camp. But they only did it for like 6 weeks, and everybody wanted to keep it going. Yeah. And I was the only one that volunteered for it, so I learned basically from them, and then the rest of it was on me to study. Yeah. Look up all the information that I needed, various different things that they didn't do, and started applying that to boot camp. Okay. So.
Side note, you might notice that she's going like this. I just got a new blanket, and it's super fuzzy and soft.
It's really nice and soft.
And we both we have these, I don't know if you would call them nervous tics, but we always have to be doing something with our hands. We don't sit still well. So if you notice that, I'm doing my best just tapping my leg here. She's rubbing the blanket. She's not weird. It's just a tick.
Not even a tick. It's just having something to do. If I'm not tapping
Right.
my foot, I'm tapping my hands, or this is so nice, it's just kind of
I know. So, what would you say, I want to ask you two things about Aqua Fitness, and this is kind of before I came into it, because it was several years later before I started doing it. What would you say you love the most about teaching Aqua Fitness, and then what was your biggest obstacle back then? Probably obviously learning yourself, but...
thing I liked most about teaching was the fact that I could help people better themselves.
Yeah.
And the part probably that I didn't like, at least back then, was that it was a gym where the aquatics department took second fiddle, 10th fiddle, really, to everything else.
Yeah.
They financially, they would not finance for new equipment or anything. They really didn't believe in the program. They didn't think it was, you could get anything out of the exercises. So we were battling that all the time.
Yeah, and I remember later when I came in, it was the same issue where you would see the land classes, as we call them, you know, your cycle classes, your yoga, your group, your power classes, your weight classes. They would get all the shiny new things which cost thousands of dollars. If you ever look into how much a cycle bike costs, just one, your head would spin. But just to get a pair of water dumbbells or new pool noodles.
Yeah.
Because I remember even when I came in, the pool noodles that we had, they had bite marks in them.
Oh yeah.
Even the foam dumbbells. I'm
And
like,
then you'd hear, oh, they bought another gym. Oh, that's great. Why don't you fix up the ones that you've got before you go buy another new gym?
and you know, when you're in your own bubble like that, because you know, you didn't really have any mentors in this. You were just kind of thrown in. So you didn't know about certification programs such as, if you don't know about aquatic fitness, the standard right now in the US is the AEA certification, which is the Aquatic Exercise Association. You know, we didn't know about things like that. We didn't know about Mark Grabelding's Fit Motivation.
Yeah.
So you truly were on your own. If you have you're kind of in your own little bubble when you're teaching, especially when you're thrown into it. And if you don't know where to look for help, and then you have a gym that's not really helping you, you're just kind of out on your own.
I will have to say there was a lady there, Sherry, group coordinator for all the exercise classes. She tried and tried and tried to, you know, promote us and really help the aquatic department, but it's, you know, falls on deaf ears. So
right.
You know.
So you started in about what, 2012 teaching? And I think it was towards the end of 2016 when I joined that gym, because for those that don't know, I know if you do know me, you've heard this before, but I have a stomach disease called gastroparesis, and back then it was still pretty new to me. I was misdiagnosed several times, but then when I was diagnosed, I have a rare form of it, which is already in a rare disease itself, that most people don't even know about. And it led me to depression and struggling with my medical bills, leaning on her and my stepdad for support, and my life was just kind of a mess. And she had kept telling me, you know, try Aqua Fitness, and you know, so, and the story goes I did, and I soon became an instructor too. What was it like for you having your daughter? What was it like before I became an instructor, seeing me find something that I could do and do with you?
That was so encouraging to me, really, because it, seeing how excited you got and how well you wanted to do, encouraged me to do the same thing.
Right.
And I think we were a boost to each other wanting you to do your best and find something to make you happy, less depressed, and something that you could get excited about.
Yeah.
That was really made me happy.
Oh, it was a game changer. It was a mood booster because I couldn't do a lot of the land fitness exercises, at least the max cardio that I wanted to do, because I've always been a tomboy too. It's her fault. And when gastroparesis happened, my exercise life was just kind of put on the back burner. And when you're depressed, you don't want to do anything either. So that kind of lit me up. And then I was not expecting Aqua Fitness to be, or water aerobics, as I used to refer to it as. I did not expect it to be the workout that it was. Yeah. And then when you have your own mom kicking your butt, there's something about that.
Well, you know, the fun thing about the water is that with I have arthritis all over pretty much. Degenerating disc, spinal stenosis, hips, my hands are getting deformed. Jeez.
Anything else?
Yeah, you know.
Your shoulder and
shoulders. But I can't do a lot of things on land, and I'm not supposed to do a lot of things on land. But you get me in the water, and I can do anything. I can run in the water. I can jump in the water. I can do. I can do everything in the water, and it makes me feel better about myself. I don't feel like I'm decrepit. Like sometimes if I get down on the floor and play on the dogs, oh, you don't want to see me trying to get up.
But you look at her in the water, and it's, I mean, she's now referred to fondly from Mark Revelding as, you know, the water terminator, from our time filming with Mark. And from our class members, she's got two different names, Machine Gun Shelley and then Sarge.
Yeah.
You have to see her teach. It's it's incredible. So fast forward to 2017, I was coming more regularly to classes. I was asked by the then group exercise coordinator to sub classes at the Rock Road location of this facility, and then I just sort of started. What was it like for you, not only as an instructor, but mainly as my mom, to see me get into that and to do it?
I was really thrilled for you. I was excited to see that, and happy that you had found something, you know, that you enjoyed doing, and you were really going off on your own, investigating new things and teaching it in the class and everything. And so, yeah, I was really excited to see that.
Yeah. And she is actually one of the main individuals that helped me when I got started. So the first class I ever did was Aqua Jam, just because rhythm comes naturally to me. I was in the water with my mom practicing these exercises, and I was practicing it with music. And I noticed that it was just, I was putting everything to music. So I started out with that, and it was a class that had to be taught on the deck. And for me, I started after that noticing more and more that you would teach a little bit on the deck. You started slowly getting more confident in yourself teaching on the deck. Would you say now that you prefer to teach on the deck?
Oh, yeah, I think it's much better, because like you said, you can tell half the time what they were doing, but that's the way we started out. That's the way I was taught, so that's the way I taught. And then I think we had a new person come in, and we started teaching on deck.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's much better. You can see what they're doing, and
yeah,
you can demonstrate. So you're not only speaking, explaining the instructions, the exercise, but you're demonstrating it along with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You took I guess what we'll refer to as an early teaching retirement of sorts. About a year into when I was there, so probably 2018, or somewhere in there.
Yeah, I taught up until like March of 2019 or so.
2019,
right before
yeah.
we moved.
So, if you're comfortable, can you go into why you decided at that time to take a retirement? Don't hold back. This is the whole reason I'm doing this.
Yes, well, a lot of swimming instruction or classes, people go there to socialize and talk, just socialize, and we had gotten a new instructor in, and she kind of became in charge of classes and stuff, and she wanted us to teach on deck, and she demanded from the members that they stop talking. And the other instructors, or maybe like 2-3 other instructors, we were supposed to do the same thing. We were supposed to get them to stop talking in class.
Now, did you, before you go on, did you agree with not talking in class?
Oh,
was
yeah.
was it an issue?
Yeah, oh, it was an issue. Not all the time, but there was a lot of talking in class. And after this happened, where I started asking them to pay attention to the class, the exercises, instead of talking, and apparently they thought that they could not talk with
The other instructor,
but it was okay still to talk in our classes. Well, it got to the point where they were turning their back to me and talking, carrying on full conversations, and when I say something about it, to concentrate on the exercises, they started bullying me, and I ended up just stopping class at one point, turning off the music, and told them they need to pay attention. And I don't care if they talk a little bit now and then, but when you have your back turned to me, full out conversation during the whole class, that's very disrespectful.
It rightfully,
Yeah.
you have every right to say that.
Yeah, yeah. It was very disrespectful. They don't realize, or maybe they do and they just don't care, but when you have aquatic classes are not like some of the like group power and some of the other classes where you have 6 weeks of a certain, it's the same class for 6 weeks, and then they change it up and you learn a new routine, but you do the same class for 6 weeks or so. With Aqua Fitness, no, you make up your own routines and you find music to go with it. And I don't know, people just don't appreciate the fact that the time we spend working up a routine, making sure it's timed right, getting the music to fit.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, there's a lot to go into it. And for somebody to turn their back to you, talking loudly, bothering the other class members, it's disrespectful to both the instructor and the class members. And it got to the point where I did not enjoy teaching anymore, and it was like walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
And one of the male members at one time said, "Oh, are you kicking me out of class? Are you kicking me out of class? Do you want me to leave?" Almost like he's trying to get
Taunt
me to
you.
kick him out. Yeah. I said, "No, I'm just giving you an option. You need to follow the exercises, or maybe find a class that allows you to talk."
And first off, I was witness to this a lot, because when we say the other instructor, for one, the instructor that we're talking about that demanded attention, and they weren't talking too much in her classes, she had a presence about her because she wasn't from our country. So that kind of set her apart in the way that she composed herself and everything else. Me, I didn't have as much trouble with that either, simply because I was mainly teaching Aqua Jam, and you can't talk in Aqua Jam because it's a choreographed class.
Yeah.
And if you're talking, you're gonna miss what we're doing. Much like Aqua Zumba. It's not Aqua Zumba, but then you have my mom who, I don't want to say this, I don't mean this offensively, but it's almost like you were part of the old regime with the instructors that actually said socializing is just as important as working out.
I never said that.
No,
But the other
yes,
instructor did.
And what she touched on in aquatics, so many people don't realize this, and it's why aquatics has a stigma. You're attached to this huge gym that brings in thousands of dollars, and they send their land fitness instructors to intensive trainings before they can instruct. But for Aqua Fitness, you're literally just handed a sheet of paper and say, here, you're certified. It doesn't mean anything. And so you're just kind of out on your own and you don't have any support. And let me tell you, when that happened to you, you've heard of Mama Bear. Well, Cub over here was pissed. Because it's heartbreaking to see your mom being crushed. And we are too, people don't believe this all the time. We're very shy. We're a little bit more introverted, and we get our feelings hurt easily. So when that happens, we're also not confrontational. We just stew in it, and we get upset and we work ourselves up. So for me, as your daughter, that was just heartbreaking. And I know that was kind of one of the last straws while we were in Wichita. Because as much, I do want to preface, we loved our class members there. Especially the evening class members, they worked their butts off. A lot of the talking was the morning crew, because that was kind of where it was by other instructors. They had just come to know that, you know, we're going to talk, we're going to be set in our ways. So in 2019, we both made the decision to move to Topeka, Kansas, which is about 2 hours away from Wichita, because we have my aunt who lives here, and my mom, was it 2016 we lost Vic? So in 2016, we lost my stepdad. And then shortly after that, my aunt lost her husband, my uncle. And she was by herself in Topeka. And my mom had mentioned wanting to move. And for me, after you had gone through that and retired, I was also getting doors slammed in my face because I was trying to revive the aquatic department, trying to do all these things. And then you would just get kind of slapped. And so I had it too, so we decided to move to Topeka. I decided to keep teaching, but you were still kind of staying away from it, just enjoying it. What made you want to get back? So you're not fully back.
No,
but
no. I still enjoy my retirement. I enjoy teaching too, but I don't want to spend my days constantly making up routines and getting music together and all that. If I could teach just a couple of classes a week, I would be fine with that. Give me plenty of time to do whatever I want and still stay healthy. I enjoy taking the classes as much as I teach, but there's still that enjoyment from seeing somebody in class, and you can just see in their eyes and their whole expression how much they're enjoying it and how much they're getting out of it.
Oh yeah.
And countless number of people coming up afterwards and talking to you and thanking you.
That really is the joy of aquatics, is people, you know, why you got into it, why I got into it. Someone just starting their fitness journey that's too afraid to go to a hardcore land boot camp, where you can join an aqua boot camp. And I think one of the stigmas on it is because aqua is low impact, you automatically think it's low intensity, but it's not. It's really not. You're just not going to feel it as much on your joints afterwards. And so I love seeing people discover that. And
with Shockwave, it was made known to the class members right off the bat that you are here to exercise, you're not here to talk. We can have fun. Sure, everybody loves to have fun, and we can have fun as long as the whole class is included, but there's not going to be any full-out conversations during the classes. And I think they respected that, they enjoy that. Every once in a while we have to say something to somebody, and undoubtedly somebody will come up afterwards and say, thank you for saying that to them. It was really distracting.
Yes.
So,
and you know, some people take it offensively, but at the end of the day, we're not trying to be offensive. We're trying to give you the best workout possible. And a little banter back and forth, this lady in our class, Barb.
Yes.
I always go back and forth with her, but it's not enough to completely distract everyone or her from the workout. You can have fun and a little bit back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, we're not trying to be drill sergeants and say you can't talk at all, but if you have the lung capacity to stand there and have a full out conversation, not being out of breath at all, are you working?
No.
And if you're joining us and you have no idea what Shockwave is my company that I formed when we moved to Topeka in 2019, because I wanted it to be an established program. I wanted to start breaking the mold for other instructors that were taught like my mom was, where you're just handed a sheet of paper and kind of told, here you go, good luck. Because I'm finding more and more that other instructors around us have the exact same experience.
Yeah, and I will say that after Sharlie and I left that gym, the management told some of the land instructors, here, we need somebody to teach aquatics.
Yep.
Teach aquatics.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah, that's gone on in Topeka in different places. I think it's everywhere because we're also on Facebook. We're part of a water fitness instructor group, and I read comments like that all the time, or these poor instructors are like, help, I'm just starting, I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And I will, even though this is about my mom's journey, I will plug, there are instructors in our industry now. If you're thinking about wanting to get into aqua fitness, there's instructors like Jenny Lynn LaCour, Patterson LaCour, and Katie Coffey, who have created this surf to turf program where it teaches land instructors how to transition properly from land to water, because it's a completely different tempo than it is on land. You know, it's just like a Zumba instructor. You cannot take regular Zumba and translate a salsa or anything. It's so fast.
Yeah.
And that's,
thank goodness for people like Mark Grivelding, all the videos that he does that shows you, they talk about, they demonstrate, they're in the water, they're out of the water. I have learned so many new things from that it's amazing. And if you're a new instructor, that's the place to go.
And now she is a part of the Fit Motivation family. We went this last March to film with Mark after
Sarasota.
Being on Fit Motivation was a bucket list thing for me as an instructor, because I wanted to show people our energy. Because I will say, one thing I think that sets Shockwave apart from other programs is the energy that we bring as instructors. Like, we're crazy up there.
Oh, goodness.
And I wanted to be able to showcase that. And what I love about that, our Shockwave journey on there, is the feedback we get online is not so much about me teaching it, it's about you in the water. Like, oh my God, I love your mom. and even Mark calling you the water terminator. And so how does that make you feel when you get compliments like that after everything you've been through?
It kind of surprises me, because I mean, that's what I'm there for. I'm there to work out, and if I'm not going to give it my all, I might as well stay home and eat potato chips and watch TV.
Okay, so sometimes she still eats potato chips.
Yeah, sometimes I and potato chips are a favorite. Okay, Either that or ice cream. But so yeah, it did surprise me because I'm there to work out and I work out, but it really is a compliment to me that they are watching to see how I do something and how hard I work. So that encourages me to work even harder to help them.
Exactly.
You know?
Now, I know you're proud, but as a fellow instructor, has it ever been hard to see some of my success when sometimes you were getting punched down, even in Wichita, by other class members? And has it ever been kind of hard? Because I can love other instructors all day long, but I'll say if another instructor were to come along and had more people in class, or like I was going through a hard time with my classes and then another instructor comes in and everything is hunky-dory, I think I would get a little discouraged too, even though you're happy for them. So did you experience that with me at all, or?
No, because I take pride in the fact that I got you started. And I
really did.
Taught you the basics.
Yes.
But you flew with it. And you got your own style. You just took it away and you earned everything that you've gotten. And this is making me tear up.
Oh, I knew she was gonna cry at least once. Well,
no, it makes me very proud.
oh, good. And that's what, and I tell everyone, this is the woman that got me started. I wouldn't be here without her. And that's one reason I wanted her as the first guest on this podcast, or whatever you want to call it, this low budget podcast, because she truly, if I wouldn't have found this, she saved my life with this. I mean, it's enough to be my mom. I mean, she's great at that. But to get me into the water, and still, the reason that she is my instructor of the year, I don't want people to think I'm playing favorites just because this woman is my mom. No. What people don't understand, especially with running your business, is all the behind the scenes. Like when we started classes at the natatorium, my mom is always the one there checking people in, taking payments. When I get home, she's giving me feedback on the classes still. She's constantly coming up with new things. When I wanted her to start teaching some classes again, like jabs and HIIT or whatever else, she doesn't just show up and say, okay, let's go. No, she is planning for days, sometimes, her routines. And we sit there at night and we go over them, and...
Yeah, I found out I'm pretty good on a pole.
Water pole, aqua pole. Yeah, look into it. Never thought I'd have a mom that can work a pole better than me, but here we are. Well, I think that's basically going to conclude this episode, but can you tell me real quick, I have two things. What are your future plans with Aqua, and do you have any advice for new instructors that are starting out? Even maybe for instructors that didn't start so young in life like yourself.
You have to enjoy what you're doing, and in order to enjoy what you're doing, you have to have a knowledge of everything that's involved with your job. So I would say learn as much as you can, get certified, experiment, get in the water and make up your own exercises if you want.
Absolutely.
Just reach out to people who have the experience. Just get as much knowledge as you can and then apply it to your own classes. And as far as me, as long as I'm healthy, I am going to be in the water. I know as you get older, things don't work as well as they used to, whether you want them to or not. I know I'm slowing down on certain things, My big drawback about possibly teaching on deck is that it's hard on the body.
Yeah.
It's very hard on the body.
Oh, I have a torn calf right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But as long as I can physically demonstrate on deck, I will probably have my hand in, a class here and there.
And you brought up a good point, because we were talking about this the other day with deck instruction. A lot of our class members, especially in the summer when it's so hot, we're teaching in 100-degree weather with a humidity of like 97%. And we'll be teaching and our class members will say, get in the water.
Yeah.
And what do you want to say to them about that?
I wish I could. However, we always have new members. And
we don't have small classes either.
Yeah, we have large classes. In some, we've had events where we've had 100 some people in the pool. Even our average classes are between 40 and 60 some people probably. Yeah. And if you're in the water in the front of the pool in the shallow section, those clear in the back, they aren't going to be able to hear you. They aren't going to be able to see you. They're just going to go, okay, that's when your talking is going to start.
Yes.
So you have to be on deck. You have to, I would get a microphone, especially if you have a large pool. You have to have a microphone. I would get the mat and a chair, have a chair or a bench handy. I use a chair quite often.
Yes.
And you have to demonstrate from the deck, and you talk about you verbally explain the exercise, and then you're demonstrating it on deck, so it leaves no doubt as to what you are doing.
And also for the water instructors that teach on deck, it's also crucial. The reason we strain our bodies on the deck is because you have to be able to show the moves full out. Because aqua moves versus land moves, we're doing frog hops where you're literally jumping into the air and your knees are going out wide, your feet are coming underneath you like this, you're reaching for your toes. Oh, here she goes.
Yep, that's why I get a chair.
Yes. So use every tool to your advantage. There are several ways to do this, where you're not putting too much strain on your body.
And I also will say that your enthusiasm is relayed to your members. So if you're, all right, we're gonna do a frog hop like this, or all right, let's get those frog hops, hop, hop, however you want to do it. You got to show enthusiasm for what you're doing, even if you don't feel good.
Oh, absolutely. There's a reason we do dolphin kicks, which is a double leg kick to the front. And every time we say dolphin, a lot of our class members groan because it does work your abs. So we started incorporating the noise into it. So if you ever come to one of our classes and we say dolphin kicks, it's to take their minds off of the torture of the dolphin kick. Your class is going to reflect how you teach it for sure. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. And if any of you need deck teaching tools, for one, I mentioned this before, Aquatic Exercise Association, get that AEA certification. I'm telling you, it's worth it. I'm learning so much going through it myself right now. And also Fit Motivation and Pool Fit, Mark Gravelding, they have some videos on how to do that properly from the deck. And also, if you watch most of the instructors on there, they all have stools, benches, everything. Protecting your body is so important.
Yes.
Doesn't even matter if you're 20, if you're 71, like she is. Protect your body so that when you do start to get older, you're not replacing those hips, those knees, the rotator cuff that you've been through. And so I think with that, we're gonna wrap up. Thank you so much for being my
You're welcome.
first guest.
My pleasure.
I hope you guys will stay tuned. I'm not just doing aqua fitness instructors with this. My next guest is going to be a yoga instructor, actually. So thank you, Mom,
You're
for
welcome.
being on, and we will see you later. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.